Let's fly for free on spring break. What could go wrong? Almost everything. Hi, my name is Darren. I'm a dad, airline pilot, and driver of electric cars. And this year, for the first year in a long time, my family of four decided to travel on spring break. Our plan A was to go from Dallas to Ontario on a 10:40 a.m. departure, not the first departure of the day because we were silly. We should have gone on the first flight of the day, but we didn't because we missed this flight. And then we said, you know what? Let's try the next flight at 12:35. Had six open seats. Between those two flights, we went to the Capital One Lounge to relax. This is our second time in the lounge today. Went out for plan B. We missed that flight as well. Then we went home for a couple hours. I live close to the airport. Plan C was to go to Sacramento. But Darren, that's not in Southern California, and you're absolutely right. We were going to overnight in Sacramento and then take the first flight of the morning down to LA. So here we are bright and early in the morning, and we got seats. I got first class. They got coach. This is how it worked out. But we got to close to where our destination was anyway, Southern California. We rented a Tesla because that's what we drive at home, and it actually ended up being cheaper than a gas car for the week. I only paid to charge one time all week long. We had a great time in California. We went to the zoo, and actually my youngest daughter met one of her classmates there who were there on vacation. We stayed in lots of hotels. Actually all but one were free with our hotel points. On day two, we went to Six Flags. We are members of the Six Flags, whatever group, because we live close to Six Flags here in Arlington, Texas. So day two was a Six Flags day, and then we got some amazing ice cream after Six Flags. And believe it or not, I do have two daughters. My oldest daughter, it's hard to get a picture of her, but when she's strapped into the roller coaster, she has no choice. This is my 12-year-old. She has my personality and my sarcasm. And we tricked my 5-year-old to go on this roller coaster. She had a good time. There was some amazing ice cream called Sunny's in the LA area. Anyways, then we stayed in another hotel. Again, it was free because, again, hotel points go a long way. We then went to the Peterson Museum. Each one of us got a day or something to choose to do. This was my day. I'm a huge car guy. They had Teslas there. I love electric cars. So I went to the Peterson Museum on my day. Of course, I went to Randy's Donuts because if you don't get Randy's Donuts, did you actually even go to LA? I don't think you did. Yeah, anyway, we had a good time. We went to the mall. I let my kid burn out some energy. On day 4, I believe it was, we went to the Nixon Museum, Nixon Library. That was my wife's day. Pro tip, there is a Groupon for this as well. We enjoyed ourselves. My 12-year-old was a 12-year-old, and she was there. After the game, of course, though, we went to my 12-year-old's. That was her task, and it was the Clippers game. I got to give props to my wife. She bought some tickets I thought were really expensive. They ended up being a good spot. They were kind of like VIP section, bigger seats, cushier seats. We could order from a menu and a great view as well. And staying in Ontario and then flying out of Ontario, me flying out of LA. But the next day, the flight to Ontario got really full. So I got to do super dad thing. I got to go supercharge the car and drive from the Ontario airport to Palm Springs airport and then return the rental car in LA. Why? The flights out of Palm Springs were open enough for them to get seats. I had to return the car to LA, return the car into Palm Springs, like a $500 fee. No, thank you. So that's what I got to do on the last day. But their adventure continued as the weather caused them to hold and divert to Austin. And then their plane got hailed on, and the flight was delayed till the next day. My flight took off out of LA. We held and diverted. We were able to make it into Dallas. It was mostly a fuel issue. I can explain in another video, but Palm Springs, runway terrain, they can't take as much fuel as we can from LA. So we were able to make it into Dallas while they had to stay the night in Austin with no suitcases. They booked a room in the hotel. I rented them a car and they drove home the next day. It made more sense for them to drive than me to drive down there and pick them up. But one more note about the rental car experience. I stayed at hotels that had charging, and this hotel had free charging for guests. So every morning we wake up and the rental car was full for free. It's a smoking deal, especially in California with how expensive the gas prices were. Totally free to fill up the battery every single morning in the rental car. Driving electric is a lifestyle change. We do it because it's inexpensive and fun, and it works out for us. But yeah, the last day I drove all the way to Palm Springs. It was a long drive. Again, they had open seats, and when you're non-rev, you got to be flexible. If they had stayed in Ontario, there was a thunderstorm that day, they would have actually never made it out of Ontario. Quite the experience. It will be funny later on when we tell stories. Have a fabulous day. And as always, thank you for stopping by.